This is a dramatic reading. The Boy Who Cried Docs, starring Unidocs himself. There once was a gamer boy who was bored as he sat on his throne in his basement, watching his YouTube documentaries. To amuse himself, he took a great breath and sang out, "Docs! Doxer! The Doxer is chasing the sheep!" The YouTube cronies came running to help the boy run the Doxer off, but when they arrived to help, they found no Doxer. The boy laughed at the sight of their angry faces. "Don't cry, Docs, gamer boy," said the YouTube cronies. When there's no Docs, they went grumbling back to their live streams. Later that day, the boy sang out again, "Docs! Doxer! The Doxer is chasing the sheep!" To his naughty delight, he watched the YouTube cronies gather in anger to help disable the Doxer. When the YouTube cronies saw no Doxer, they said sternly, "Save your frightened song for when there's really something wrong. Don't cry, Docs, when there is no Docs." But the gamer boy just grinned and watched them go grumbling back to their channels once again. Later that day, he saw a real Doxer prowling about his flock. Alarmed, he leaped to his feet and sang out as loudly as he could, "Doxer! Doxer!" But the YouTube cronies thought he was trying to fool them again, and so they stayed on their couches, beds, and their gaming chairs and ignored the gamer boy. At sunset, everyone wondered why the gamer boy hadn't returned to his gaming throne. They went to his community tab to get the deets. They found him weeping in the comment section once again. Gamer boy says, "There really was a Doxer here. The flock has scattered. I cried out, 'Doxer! Why didn't you guys come to help me?'" A member of this flock spoke up and tried to comfort the gamer boy as they clicked back into his live stream. One of his members cries out, "We will help you look for the Doxer in the AM." Another member sent gamer boy a PayPal donation, and in the donation included a note that said, "Nobody believes a liar, even when he is telling the truth." And this, my friends, starts the saga of Unidocs, the boy who cried Docs. Buckle up, friends. Keep your hands and feet inside the ride at all times.
Hello. Okay, give me a minute. Let me get up here and walk in the other room, and I will talk to y'all for a moment.
Oh, yay. Can't wait.
If we're even live, if this is even working, it's hard to tell. Oh, here, let me use one of these little filters.
Unfortunately, yes, we can hear you. And yes, buckle up. We're going all the way back to when Uni claims he was doxxed by JLR and BHB. And we're going to look at the facts of actually what happened. Again, this falls under fair use content. This is based on my opinion only of the statements he has provided in his own live streams. Please do not send hate to anybody that we discuss in this video. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. And if you wouldn't mind, hit me that thumbs up button and make sure you're subbed. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's go.
So, this is just one of those little mobile update streams that I do sometimes, okay?
Realistically, who cares if it's mobile or on YouTube?
Just to let you know what's happening. Now, I'm pretty tired because I was laying down. Did you see YouTube auto response to my retweet? No, okay, but we need to get on Team YouTube real hard because Mr. JLR thinks that he is going to dox me. Now,
notice the verbiage of how this started out initially.
Now, the thing is, he's just as incompetent as he's ever been. What he did was, he PayPal'd me $1, okay?
So it actually starts off on PayPal.
And he tried to put an address in the PayPal. Because what he's trying to do, right, is he's sitting there and he's sitting in his pee pants and he's trembling and shaking and he's pissed and he's angry due to the fact that he was exposed. And he wants to intimidate me. So
Now, I do agree that the PayPal was sent as an intimidation factor and an attempt to silence Uni. I do agree with that.
oh, thank goodness. He wants to intimidate me. So what he's doing is, will you stop texting me? Man, my freaking kids. I just told her everything's cool, and now she's like, bing, 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 bing. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not.
Of course we can hear it, but you make this so cringe, Uni.
But anyway, so he's sitting there in his pee pants, and he's all pissed off and mad, and he doesn't know what to do. So of course he's trying to dox me. Now he should
Notice that it starts off as he's attempting to dox Uni by this PayPal.
probably know because Betty and Molly and Dolly and all of them have been trying to dox me as hard as they can.
I've seen Molly take shots at Uni, Betty take a few shots at Uni, but I've never seen Dolly, and this is a first for JLR. So, I don't know.
And they pull some address that I've never even lived at.
Okay, so if it's not your address, then why are you concerned?
And listen to this. Listen to the street that it's on because it's prophetic. Church Street. Yes. So he sends me an address and something like I think what he was trying to do was use my ex-wife's name and say, "Hey, ex-wife, we'd love to interview you." And then he puts an address in there.
So I don't agree with how Uni has handled any of this stuff recently, and I think he's a liar. However, I do agree with the fact that JLR does this for intimidation. And in my opinion, unfortunately, the way Uni has handled this played right into JLR's hand.
Or something or other, okay? So what he's trying to do, just to give you context, is put this address. He's trying to basically, he's pulling a Betty. Okay.
This is one thing with Uni that I'll never understand is just get to the point. Say exactly what happened. Stop hemming and hawing and comparing it to things that just aren't comparable. Get to the point. Facts are just that. Facts. You don't need to put all this extra garbage into it.
Okay, remember when Betty called nonsense on the phone, right?
Yes, we all remember when Betty called me on the phone. I played it live. However, comparing that situation and this one are two completely different situations.
Well, he can't call me. He can't dox me. So he goes.
Why can he not call you? And why can he not dox you? I'm super confused. Again, comparing the situations, two totally separate situations. And this is one of like 18 times that I upset Uni by asking him to respectfully stop.
Goes to my PayPal. He's so desperate that he has to go to my PayPal. And I am actually really happy that he did that because not only have I already reported him to PayPal, but I am going in the morning to be working on a form to give back to PayPal because I don't know if JLR knows this or not, but you can't use PayPal to try to dox people, JLR. You can't, you could actually lose your PayPal privileges by doing that. Now, on top of the fact that it's like the dumbest thing these people do. These people are out of their fucking minds. If you were JLR and you have all of these crazy fucking videos of yourself that these platforms have no clue about.
Obviously, there was some foreknowledge of JLR on these platforms. That's how you got your information to make your videos.
Why in the fuck, after I show, it's more documentation. In fact, it's everything I need. I mean, this motherfucker just puts it all in my hands. And you wait and see, because after he gets banned from the different platforms he's going to get banned from, he's going to sit and cry and whine and throw a fit, right? He's going to cry and he's going to whine and he's going to throw a fit about how unfair it is.
Kind of reminds me of somebody else that's been crying and whining about being called out over his own statements and not taking accountability.
How he did nothing wrong and yada fucking yada, But you see, what they do is they have been lying on the internet for so
pot, meat, kettle.
long that, again, I had to say this when Betty talked shit on me. I had to say this when Molly tried to play this game.
You have so badly wanted them to come at you so you could be a victim. You want to be a victim so bad.
And I don't know if one of my mods will throw this in Discord or not. But I guess I'll just say it again. You'll never, ever dox me and threaten me and come at me more than when I debunked QAnon.
Well, there's that claim that he debunked QAnon.
You will never do it more than when I debunked Pizzagate.
And there, once again, folks, is his claim about debunking Pizzagate, which we know is not factual.
Motherfuckers have dug through every day of my life. And that's why I There's nothing there to dox, bro. Like,
If there's nothing there to dox, why are you still complaining about it?
JLR, you eventually have to admit to yourself that you will meet the wrong one. And I may not be the wrong one when it comes to your investigations, because I'm not. I may not be the wrong one when it comes to many other things, but I'll tell you what I am the wrong one for. YouTube, PayPal, Twitter, Patreon. I'm the wrong one, bro.
If you would have solely stuck to the facts of what actually was happening, you would have had support. But nope, you made yourself become the right one.
Because I have been on these platforms. I always have had a good standing on all of these platforms. I will always have a good standing on these platforms. And I know how to do it. I know how to communicate. I know how to get it to them.
Did you just say you know how to communicate, Uni? Did you really just say that? Because we've seen everything but you knowing how to communicate.
You just watched your friend Molly go down, okay? You got Betty shaking so bad she's creating kick platforms before she's even banned.
The irony in that statement, considering you created a Kick account and followed them right over to Kick right after they did.
You know? And in reality, I don't even care to get Betty banned, you know? She seems like she's scared enough to where she's just chilling doing her thing. If Betty sits there and reacts to court shit and stops fucking with people, she can stay on the platform forever. But you know what?
Since when did you get authority of who gets to stay on the platform and who doesn't, Uni? Just a quick question.
JLR, you will dox people, buddy. You will. If I don't, we'll do, Kay. And I'll take a look sometime soon, I promise you. I'll probably be asleep tonight, though, because I already took my medications. And they don't, like, make me sleep, but they do make me groggy.
Stop with the fucking excuses and get to the point, please.
But here's the point, JLR. Like I was saying, you know, I am going to make sure that Team YouTube has everything about you. And that mostly is instigated by what you did last night, okay? You lied to those people. You know you did. You know you did. I don't know if you're out of your mind, or I don't know what, but you think you're going to intimidate me, right? Oh, I'm going to intimidate this guy. I already know what you do when someone comes up to you. I already know what you do, right? You fold like a fucking lawn chair.
Well, if JLR folds like a lawn chair, Uni, then you spin like a record because all you do is spin, spin, spin the story.
So what am I scared of? What am I supposed to be scared of, right? But you're trying. And you know what that tells me? That tells me that you have to be reported. And you guys always fail the test, JLR. People like you always fail the test.
Now there was some sort of test that JLR failed. Uni, can you get to the point here, please?
I would like to be able to criticize you, and you be able to respond in a normal way. Why don't you...
Speaking of responding in a normal way to criticism, is that belittling women, talking over women, getting aggressive with women? Same like you?
Respond to what I said on my fucking channel, buddy. Why don't you respond to the evidence that I put out, right?
Uni, knock it the fuck off. We are not law enforcement. You do not have evidence. You have previously recorded videos.
Right? Oh, no, you can't do that, right? So you think you're going to try to dig in on me and dox me and stuff. You got the wrong address, bro. You got the wrong address.
So you mean to tell me that the PayPal that you claimed initially doxed you wasn't even your address or information? And did you ever show that PayPal?
You guys are so bad at this. It's hilarious. But, you know, in the end, what does this tell me? That if I don't take this straight to Team YouTube, straight to Twitter, and to PayPal, and if I don't make sure that I push it for as long as it takes, which it may even take a month, I have a feeling it won't after your little message on PayPal.
For full transparency reasons, I have never seen the actual PayPal. I've heard Betty confirm that JLR did send one, but Uni's never showed it.
But if I don't press it through, it's not going to do shit to me. What are you going to do? You're going to lie about me on the internet? Yeah, I got a lot of people to do that to me.
Uni, you should be the last one to point out anybody else lying on people, considering that's all you've done for the last couple weeks on me.
What you're going to do is end up doxing and harming someone that's innocent. Is what you're going to do. You're going to hurt somebody.
So Uni has been claiming he's not upset. They're wrong about their information that they put in the PayPal, but he is so amped up and going on and on and on about it. Okay.
You really are. Okay, I ignore you. Here's what happens. Every time I do a video on you, which is going to be every fucking day for a week, the next week, every time I do a video, you're going to get mad. You're going to try to threaten me in some way with a sock account. I mean, at least the one thing I can say is that you used your actual Jonathan Lee Riches investigates to try to send me a PayPal. But
I don't think he tried to send you a PayPal. I'm pretty sure he was successful in sending you a PayPal, considering you are so riled up about it.
If you wanted me to be impressed, you could have said 100. If you wanted to actually intimidate me, you would try to show me that you have money or something, right? Or correct, information or anything.
You expect JLR to send you more money than $1? His message was received, Uni. It doesn't matter about the dollar amount, except to you.
But here's the deal, buddy. You can do all the stuff that you're going to do to try to intimidate me.
So initially, it wasn't even doxing. It was an intimidation tactic. I can get behind that, because it was. Absolutely.
And try to attack me. And I'm going to sit at my house and play video games and do my live streams.
I'm sorry. No offense to my gamers out there. Again, though, if you are trying to act like you are unbothered and you say, as a grown man, I'm going to sit at my house and play my video games and do my live streams, your argument's already lost.
And do my videos. And every time that YouTube and PayPal and Twitter respond to my reports, I'm going to write them back immediately.
Well, at this point in time, the reports would have solely been on PayPal because that's where he sent the message at, so you wouldn't have to sit around and wait for much because it would have just been PayPal, right?
You feeling me? You got me, bro? I'm going to write them back immediately. I'm going to expedite this shit. With Molly and Letitia, it was a very, sporadic kind of thing. With you, it's going to be an immediate response. We're going to fast track this as much as possible. We're going to see if we can't get as many people to go to Team YouTube on Twitter and to put in their hands what you...
So let me get this straight. You want people to tag Team YouTube in things that didn't even happen on YouTube?
Or up to, okay? I am personally, and I'm going to promise you this, JLR, I'm going to take every threat that you send at me. I'm going to take every piece of evidence, because that's what it is.
Can somebody please get this man a dictionary or hit him upside the head with one?
Every piece of evidence that you throw at me, every time you try to fuck around, and it's all going to Team YouTube. You can kiss that channel of yours straight goodbye if you're going to dox and play these games, okay? And
what's crazy is we all know JLR does terrible things to actual victims, but lying on him isn't needed.
I've already initiated it with PayPal, okay? As soon as I get everything done with PayPal, it's going to Team YouTube. So...
just to clarify a few things that I had to figure out on my own, PayPal and YouTube are not one and the same. PayPal is an independent app that Uni posts his public pay links on his YouTube channel. Again, two separate apps completely, PayPal and YouTube. What happened on PayPal should be directed to PayPal.
You can, spend all your time, seething angry, seething mad, and I'll just spend my time chilling and doing my thing. But you're going to go, bro. You are going to go.
So let me get this straight. JLR shouldn't have a platform because of sending Uni a PayPal. But what about all the victims that he's actually harmed?
Because I swear it's like you don't understand. You know what you're going to say, JLR? You're going to pull the same lie. I can already see it in my head.
Oh dear, this one's got premonitions too now.
You're going to pull the same lie that you pulled last night with those people that bumped into you at the scene. You know what you're going to say? I wasn't doxing when I sent him $1 PayPal, put some random address in there and tried to name his ex-wife and stuff. That's not doxing.
And I know this is going to really piss him off again, but the term doxing does not fit. A shitty intimidation tactic? Abso-freaking-lutely. But it was not posted publicly. The platform of YouTube would have never even known about this except for Uni, which again does not make it okay, but it's an intimidation tactic, not doxing.
Nothing illegal about that. Really? Well, I think the platforms are going to differ with you, buddy. I think that the platforms are going to differ in that. Because if you wanted to...
Can you stop calling him buddy? It's extremely cringe, Uni.
Interview me? Well, why would you put my assumed address? And God, man, it's so ironic that he puts Church Street. Ooh, Church Street.
So once again, even though shitty intimidation tactic, JLR did not release this information publicly. You just did, though, Uni.
Man, it's almost like he's praying to God while he's trying to dox. And you know what the crazy thing is? There's a part of you that does believe. I could just tell by looking at you. You did what I did when I was an atheist. Whenever I would...
Oh, here we go with the wonderful faith manipulation that Uni likes to try and attempt these days.
Have something happen when I was an atheist. I would default to praying. I would default to God. I would mention God, right?
Wait, I'm so confused. You claimed you were an atheist, but yet you prayed to God? Uni, can you make this make sense for me, please?
I'm not getting religious with you. I'm making a factual observation. And the irony in you trying to dox me with Church Street. But,
You were making such a big deal out of the name of a street that nobody would have even known until you made it public knowledge.
Whatever has to make you sleep better at night, buddy. Whatever makes you feel better. Every town has a Church Street. Yeah, it's like what is the most popular street names? Main. I think it's Main Church and High.
It's more likely 2nd Street over High, but okay,
High Street,
whatever.
Main Street, Church Street, right? No, what he's doing is trying to field that same intimidation. And you know, he's just like Betty. I guarantee Betty's in on it, you know?
I mean, we all know that they work as a team. None of this is shocking that Betty would involve herself in any of this either. I mean, come on now, people.
I guarantee you Betty's in on it. He's probably sitting there talking to Betty. They're getting angrier and angrier and angrier, madder and madder and madder. I would think he's probably sitting there rewatching my 3-hour live stream just over and over and over, you know, foaming at the mouth.
Obviously, they were not foaming at the mouth, but Uni currently tells the story as JLR sent a PayPal and Betty sent one right after. So at this point in time, he would have had both PayPals acknowledging that both of them were in on this, right? Because he said they sent him one after another. I mean, that's how the story currently has been told.
Mouth, sitting there talking to his little infant dolls that he bent over a fucking grave and kept zooming in on their private parts in the car. But by the way, I shared the link to that channel, y'all. If anybody wants to complain about the fact that I mentioned that, why don't you just go look and see if he did it, right? Well, I did put it on the screen, so you can't really say he didn't do it. But, you know, he thinks this is his, what he's showing me is that he is still the same guy.
What's interesting to me is how Uni thinks he's unraveled the secret to JLR. He's been exposed on the internet for how long now?
He is showing me that he is the same guy. You look at what he did last night, and you say, man, that dude, he is either, like, he's either reformed from what he was, and he's making a huge mistake last night, which, of course, that was debunked very quickly with his lies. But then you say to yourself, or he's the same psycho, and he's harassing families like he did back in Sandy Hook. You get me? So, there's nothing different. And whenever somebody makes him mad, whenever somebody makes Molly mad, whenever somebody makes Betty mad, this is what they do. And ironically, they're all friends. I ask myself if they all shared their tactics together, or if, you know, did they all get together and say to themselves, here's what we're going to do whenever somebody angers us, or what, you know, it's because it is a binding thing between these people, right?
It's a binding thing. Are you trying to allude to that there's some sort of contract that they've signed?
Way, for those of you that just came in, let me start over because I know that since this is a little mobile thing and I'm doing it kind of while I popped out of bed for a minute to do it.
He seems to magically have to pop out of bed a lot.
They all share one brain cell. They really do, Jessica. They really do. I mean, it's a literal copy paste. It's a copy pasta of what happened to Betty. Let me tell you. So of course,
The man that just said copy pasta is the man that also claims he's got evidence against these bad actors. Can anybody make that make sense for me? I mean, it's like dealing with a toddler, actually.
Of course, I'm laying down, I'm going to bed, and I get a $1 PayPal. Now, typically, I wouldn't even look at it, right? Because who would send me a $1 PayPal at this time of night? Now, sometimes people do send me a PayPal or a Cash App later on in the day or in the evening, which is perfectly fine, but it's never $1, right? So,
I mean, you should be thankful even if it is just $1, right?
So I went and said, I know what this is. I know what this is. And I clicked it, and lo and behold, Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. And he says something like, I would pull it up, but I can't. It's not like Twitter. YouTube streams aren't like Twitter, mobile streams.
I don't know about y'all, but I think he continues to allude to the fact that he's on his mobile device because that means he can't share his screen and or share this supposed PayPal. But I've got questions about that because later on he's actually at his computer with his headset on. So he could have shown said PayPal that he got. I don't know. There's a lot of excuses made around why this was never shown. I don't think Uni has ever shown it. Granted, he claims that there was personal private information in there. Again, you can redact that type of stuff. There's a lot of excuses.
Because my PC shut down, and no, I am not booting that up. It's not booting the PC. That takes 2 seconds because I have a solid state drive. It's all the programs. It's scheduling, you know, the stream, the thumbnail, all that stuff. I'm not doing it.
I mean, once again, way over explaining the situation. It's simple. Just say that you can't share it right now.
With all that. Anyway, though, it says something to the effect of, hello, I'd like to interview you. And he uses the name of, like, an ex-wife of mine.
It says something to the effect of, not it says. It says something to the effect of. Why is it so hard to be factual, Uni?
Mine, right? Which is pretty hilarious from the start. And then he puts...
So originally you felt it was hysterical. You thought that this was hysterical. Okay. But then it became concerning.
Something like, I'd like to interview at Church Street. And then he says, Some
Again, this is information that nobody besides Uni and JLR would have known until Uni brought it here, which once again goes against the theory of doxing because it wasn't published publicly. Again, very slimy move, very intimidation tactic-ish, but not doxing.
some little quip about please respond and let me know if you'd like, or something like that. Please respond and let me know about the interview request, right? So he's thinking in his head, I've got to say something that won't get me in trouble, that can't, be called doxing, and I have to try to work these things in.
I agree, it was a super sly tactic, but still not doxing.
Which is exactly what Betty did to Nonsense.
Again, trying to compare the situations that are not comparable. Betty called my personal cell phone number and left me a message, announced it was her. She gave out information that isn't even related to me current time. However, she did not do that publicly. I posted that publicly. Again, it is not doxing. Shitty intimidation tactics, veiled threats, okay. But doxing, it does not qualify as, once again. And at first, I was kind and respectfully asked him to stop comparing the two. He wouldn't.
Betty docs Nonsense, leaves her a voicemail. It said,
None of us need to tell you how my phone call went with Betty. I played it live. Everybody knows. Again, still not doxing.
it said, hey, and then used her name, which she said her name herself, Becky, but
It's not a secret that my name is Becky. It's been out there for months.
I won't say anything more about Becky. And then Betty said she used an old address, like a 20-year-old address of Nonsense, and then threatened her at the end, right? So again, same concept, right? It's not intimidating.
So now you're going to say that it's not intimidating. We know it's not doxing. So now you're saying it's not even intimidating?
JLR, it's funny.
Make this make sense?
Right? It's cringy, and it's funny. It's not intimidating.
There's something being funny and cringy. You are sure rattled over this funny, cringy moment.
It's pathetic, but the main thing here, and I want to make sure that he knows this, because it's going to be in his head when this is over in a few days or a week, when this is done. He's going to whine and cry about how he was censored. It's going to be a big plot of the government to censor him or some
What the actual fuck has happened here?
shit. No, bro, it is your actions. It's your actions. Also, I will be getting a hold of his PO. This is a fact. I will be calling the PO myself, and I will be asking why her client is permitted to be doing this, prolifically, and
Does Uni have a word of the week or something that he likes to misuse and overuse time and time again?
allowed to just, be in these other states, threatening these people. Hell, I might even, since I'm going for a restraining order against this other girl,
I could have sworn that I've heard this man claim that he doesn't do any of these petty lawsuit threats or taking it legal, but I've heard a lot of that recently out of his mouth. It's almost like if you can't handle the heat, get the fuck out of the kitchen, Uni, because the heat's turned up.
I'd even throw him in there. I don't know. It depends. All of those, if you get a RO or not, depends on your lawyer, what they tell you, kind of thing, right? But I will be getting a hold of his probation officer because I've seen, unlike him, who goes around and tries to dig on private things on people.
My question here would be, if you're having your attorney handle all of this, and your attorney is who's going to get you the ROs on the other person, why wouldn't your attorney be the one contacting his PO if something was done egregiously?
And then try to use those things to intimidate others, even though he'd have a hard time picking up a 5-pound dumbbell with all the laxatives that he constantly eats. And yes, that was in my stream from today, overdosing on purpose on laxatives. That's what he did. God knows why. I don't know why. I don't know what makes people demons. I don't know what makes...
I mean, I don't know what makes people demons either. They've been trying to cast those bitches out of me for a long time, and they're still here. But, Uni, that was not a knee slapper.
Makes him crazy, y'all. But, just to cut to the chase, what this tells me is...
Yay, we're only 25 minutes in, and he's just now going to get to the point, cut to the chase. I mean, we've been waiting for 25 minutes of useless babble.
That he doesn't deserve a chance. He doesn't deserve any kind of... we can't relent.
Who exactly is we? The turd in your back pocket?
When it comes to tagging Team YouTube, we can't relent when it comes to making sure that PayPal, YouTube, and his PO know what he's doing, what he's up to. Because again, this man...
I've got to ask y'all what you think. Do you think his last statement was to incite or a call to action for people to report JLR on the platforms he mentioned? Would you see it that way?
Man is dangerous. He does dangerous things to people. And again, I'm all about redemption. It's one of the things I get criticized the most for.
I've heard you criticized for a hell of a lot, especially as of recently, but that's not something I've ever heard you criticized for to date.
On this platform by people that know me, I give people too many chances. I'll have a straight up dishonest troll reach out and want to come on my channel.
Uni, I know you hate it when I teach you things, but just because somebody criticizes you and has a difference of opinion does not automatically make that person a troll.
And it'll piss off my viewers, and I'll do it, right? Because I'll say, if they
Let me guess. You're referring to the time that you took panel with Molly and Justin and kissed their asses time and time again. Is that what you're referring to?
lie, then that tells us everything we need to know about them. If they tell the truth, maybe we'll get some information or some content. But
Thank you for being honest and at least telling us what it's actually about, and that is content. It wasn't that hard to say. You could have just said it
the
up
point is,
front.
with JLR, he doesn't get that. He doesn't get a chance. Now, he wants to interview me. I'm just going to make sure that he's allowed to when I get a hold of his PO.
So let me get this straight. You're going to call his PO to tattle on him, but then have his PO schedule you an interview with JLR? Huh?
Also, I'm going to ask his PO why this man is stalking me.
So the man sent you one intimidating PayPal, and you are claiming that he is officially stalking you. Okay. But just a few minutes ago, you said it was hysterical. It was funny. It wasn't intimidating at all.
Just so JLR knows, I am taken. I have a girlfriend.
Oh, Uni, I have such secondhand embarrassment for you when you act like this. Dude, this isn't it, okay? JLR is not attempting to have a relationship with you. Come on now.
I am not a serial killer or anything like that. So there's no reason for you to be pining for me or anything. Are you holding
The one thing that I am willing to bet is that you have worn a path in your floor from pacing back and forth because you seem really nervous.
your face off camera because of jail? No, I'm in my pajamas, bro. You don't want to see me like this. What are you talking about? I have my face on camera every time. No, I'm just using my phone to stream, and I'm sitting here. I'm barely dressed. You guys don't want to see that. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? You have to be smart when you're a live streamer. You know what I'm saying, Chris? Like,
Definitely don't think you have to be smart to be a streamer on YouTube.
if I had my camera on, and I don't know, if I hold my phone down too low, you might see my boobie or something. You know what I mean?
Thank you for sparing us that image. I will give you props on that at least. There you go.
I don't want to have my boobie on stream right now, so so just so that, you know, unless I want to go get fully dressed and all that and then put on the stream and turn on the camera, you know. But I'm not holding it off camera. I'm using a camera filter. YouTube has these filters. I can change the filters too. I like the bubble filter, but I can't find it. I always use the bubble filter. Oh, I found it. I found it. Yeah, I'm in my jammies. So document with local authorities that you're being threatened. I mean, I usually always just take it to my lawyer. And
I mean, how could you forget? Uni is such a famous YouTuber that he has an attorney on retainer at all times that does all of this stuff for him.
I will do that. If my lawyer believes that it should be given to authorities, then
And as we know, it quickly turned from a PayPal issue to a whole letter issue. I don't know if his attorney has been contacted at this point in time or not.
I will, obviously. But again, what we're dealing with now is I did a very critical video of JLR for a good reason. This wasn't something where I just attacked the man or whatever.
Uni was not the only one to call out JLR's egregious behaviors. Not at all. Many people have been calling them out. Uni just had to one-up everybody and took it a little too far, in my opinion. It is my belief that Uni intended to get a reaction out of JLR, specifically using the videos that he did. Unfortunately, Uni is a one-upper, and this time his one-upping took him too far.
He's going to make it up to be. See, he can't think logically. He's controlled by his emotions. His emotions are typically anger, but his anger is trumped by an enormous level of cowardice and fear. And no,
I don't know about y'all, but I find it really cowardly when somebody has to overtalk and belittle the very people asking him questions like you've been doing recently, Uni. That tends to make me believe that you two are reactionary out of emotion. But I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
I'm not insulting him. He knows this is true if he's listening, and I guarantee he is.
I mean, we all know you're world famous YouTuber, so of course everybody watches you. Everybody, stalks and harasses you.
So he tries to do everything behind the scenes. He tries to do everything in the most dishonest and cowering kind of way, right? It's just a normal thing that happens with these people.
Is it also a normal thing for YouTubers to double down, triple down, quadruple down, and lie to people and then blame it on everybody else?
This is just normal. I don't know why they want to do this dance. They want to dance.
Uni, I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible, but dude, nobody wants to dance with you. You can't even fucking two-step, let alone cha-cha-cha. So ain't nobody want to dance with you. They're dancing around you, okay? This isn't even line dancing, for fuck's sake.
Dance with me.
Only thing you might be capable of is the hoedown when your hoe hits the floor.
I'm going to threaten him after I try to dox him.
He stated, after I try to dox him, meaning Uni is acknowledging that he was not doxed.
Then I'm going to see what he does in retaliation. I don't retaliate, JLR. What I do, just so you understand, is I logically look at the situation. If what you're doing...
So this is Uni logically looking at the situation, acknowledging that he was not doxed, that this was an intimidation tactic that JLR used. I mean, that's the conclusion I have came to after logically listening to everything that Uni has said in this video so far.
Is not, I don't consider myself. I'm just one person that floated by. You know nothing about me. And what I did was properly criticize you and present the issue with what you're doing to the audience with the proof of what you did last night, followed with a...
Insert some dramatic theme music here. I know what you did last summer.
A detailed, proven record of your public behavior to prove a point that I factually proved that you are a...
To prove a point I factually proved? Huh?
Dangerous person. You are a dangerous person. And because of how dangerous you are, you can't be on these platforms lying to these people so that they will support you, so that you can trounce around the country, stalking people, harassing people. I'll give a good example. Do you remember when I pulled, is that T-Spiracy? Hey! He trolled Sandy Hook victims. He's just gotten worse since then. T-Spiracy, I did this video today on it, a stream on it. This man is one of the most sickest individuals on the internet. Good. I mean,
most people agree that JLR has very problematic behavior. However, lying on him is unnecessary.
Not with what he's doing now. I imagine, what if I had gone down a different path in my life and I had a record like JLR's? Not just the actual record, but if I had the kind of public database, archived record.
I think you've got more of a social media footprint than you might realize.
So he would have to have at least, he would have to have a lot of heart and dignity if he was to go to his channel and tell the people that follow him the truth about what he's done in the past. Take accountability for it, right?
It's really interesting to me that he has this advice for JLR, who he thinks should take accountability for his actions, yet anytime you criticize Uni or ask him a question, he deflects.
And then apologize and say, I'm never going to do anything like this again. And if he did that, no one would care because he wouldn't be tragedy pimping anymore. Now, here's the issue, guys. Number one, as I mentioned, you can't be a coward and do that at the same time. You would have to overcome your cowardice. And again, he probably thinks I'm insulting him, and I'm not. I'm accurately describing him. I could actually describe him in a much, much, much worse manner, and it would be 100% accurate.
But all the criticism directed towards you is just lies, right?
But I won't. It's very, very hard to actually inflict fear and to actually inflict a feeling of danger in people, let alone large groups. Oh, no, it's okay. I'll go see my attorney tomorrow. They're probably in bed. They have to get up early, or they might be enjoying their evening. It's no big deal.
Remember, this was April 20th, the evening of April 20th, after the initial PayPals had been sent. He says, no big deal. He'll talk to his attorney the next day. So right after the PayPal was sent, initially, Uni is saying it's not a big deal, right? That's his words, not mine. So he's claiming it's not a big deal at this point.
It's no big deal. This will happen in the most, unlike these guys, the most professional, normal way.
Uni, there is nothing about how you've handled this situation that's professional or normal. Sorry, dude.
They won't, throw a cog into my day or into what I do, even the slightest.
He's unbothered AF.
The slightest. This is part of what I do now, unfortunately.
Just part of the hazards of the job, huh?
So you should get together with Burnt Toast. I would. I would sometime. We'll have to see. I mean, we'll see what happens in the future. I'm always open to talking with other people or having them on. All they got to do is reach out if they want to come on.
What, now you're too busy for the person that you, quote unquote, call your sister? I mean, your words, not mine again.
My show, and I try to support people the best I can. That's how I make my decisions. But, right now I am busy. I'm going to be busy now for the next few days.
Uni is quite possibly the busiest person I've ever known on the planet Earth. I mean, the Earth is flat too, but, you know, you get the point. He told us to think logically, so I'm using my uni logic now, okay?
Making sure that everything JLR has done is in a documentary fashion, archived to YouTube, and make sure that from now on, people will know who this man is that hangs out with Bullhorn Betty.
Come back down to earth, Uni. People have been knowing who JLR is for a long time because people have been covering him for a long time.
And it does these things. But here's the funny part. You know, when is one of these people, these tragedy pimps, these people, when are one of these people actually going to, and, you know, pass the test and not threaten and not dox, right? When is that going to happen? When are they going to respond back and say, you know what, based on what I've done in the past, I deserve criticism. But I'm still on YouTube, I'm still on Twitter, I still have a reputation with PayPal, and I don't want to lose that. So I'm not going to threaten someone who has been a YouTube partner since 2015.
I'm sorry, silly me. How did I forget that you've been on the platform since 2015 and you are such a trusted and valued partner? Have you got that plaque yet? I mean, the participation ribbon?
I'm not going to threaten someone who has had channels with significant amount of subscribers and had been a YouTube partner and tested YouTube beta programs and done all the things I've done for YouTube. I'm not going to threaten that person because I want to keep my channel. Because it's a little bit different when you threaten me than if you're just talking shit on your channel.
But according to your statements in this very stream, you said this was hysterical, no big deal, not a threat, basically.
Or if you do a live stream and do what Betty did, where she just, you know, talked shit about me. It's a little different than, you know, him trying to play his doxing games with me. But I just wanted to know, he's already been reported to PayPal. I don't think anything will happen for a few days. But if PayPal misses my report, because it does happen, I'm going to make sure I file a report as much as I have to so that this man can't use PayPal to try to intimidate people anymore.
I would agree with reporting it to PayPal since that's where it all took place, on PayPal.
And that's what's sad about this. But JLR, bro, look, you're late to the party. Molly, you should just got a hold of Molly. Should have just got a hold of Betty. Should have just, I don't know, got a hold of like any of the other people that have been mad at me in the last year. You could have got a hold of all the people who ran fraud raisers that I busted. You could have got a hold.
Of course. Gotta come back to, I've busted so many fraud raisers. Uni, can you give us names of these fraud raisers?
Of all the people that I debunked. Because I don't know if you even remember who I am, bro, but you have tangled with me before, JLR. You don't remember? Oh, let me refresh your memory, because I forgot to mention it in my video today. I did mention that I had to debunk you in the past.
I wish I could adequately explain the secondhand embarrassment I feel for this man when he does these things and makes these statements.
But you don't remember threatening and attacking my friends that I debunked conspiracies with, do you? You don't remember that? Oh, wow. What happened to your memory?
I thought you just said it was you that he had tangled with, not your friends.
Dead GPK says we destroyed him long ago, lol. He doesn't even remember, Dead. He doesn't even remember.
Obviously, he's not the only one that doesn't remember that he's tangled with you in the past or that you've debunked him.
Something's wrong with this dude. Oh, hold on. Someone else remembers. Oh, it's Dead. Dead remembers. I remember too, Dead. And, you know, the main...
I mean, do you need an award again? What?
thing here is that when you, and I just want JLR to know this, when you dox a random civilian and you go at them, they have zero knowledge of internet laws and privacy laws and how privacy rights, privacy laws affect the internet. They have no knowledge of what acceptable internet behavior in regards to trying to look up somebody's privacy, invade their privacy, and what isn't. And they have no clue how they go about filing what you've done to a proper authority. A lot of times they'll call their local police department, right? And the local PD will tell them that's an internet issue, that's a person in another state, you're gonna have to contact the FBI. And so those people...
Actually, even your local police department can assist in you filing a report in case something escalated. Yes, you can file an IC3 form through the FBI website, but local law enforcement is where most people would start. I mean, that applies to all of us low-level YouTubers who don't have an attorney on retainer at all times, I guess.
End up never being able to turn you into YouTube because it becomes a very complex thing for them. Right? JLR? Right? Well, I want to give you a little clue here. I'm going to give you a little hint to see if you think I'm bluffing or if I'm telling the truth with what I'm about to say, okay? The proper thing to do when someone doxes you through PayPal or YouTube is to actually contact your lawyer and then contact the platforms.
Just to make sure nobody's confused, the only message at this point in time that Uni had gotten was strictly on PayPal. A private message asking for an interview that was done shitty, yes, as an intimidation tactic that included names of family members and an address that Uni claims has nothing to do with him whatsoever. Completely unrelated to him. So again, this information was not publicly published, which would be a dox. It was privately done. Is it shitty? Absolutely. But Uni is misrepresenting the facts
that were used to do this. Now, I'll tell you why, buddy. Because, yeah, it might be a little bit hard to get a hold of a proper authority so that a report can be filed against what you've done in violating the privacy and in threatening the people that you message, right? Especially with the language you try to use to protect yourself.
Just a reminder, I've searched high and low for this PayPal so we could see the language that was used, but I can't find it anywhere.
But if you look at terms of service,
well, I guess we would need to know which app we are looking at the terms of service on, because this happened on PayPal. So PayPal's terms of service would apply only. Sadly, I got to put this reminder in there. Uni brought it to YouTube, not JLR.
Buddy, you'll notice that terms of service is way different than the law. I would actually say that the terms of service for the platforms that you're using to stalk and harass people and threaten and dox people, I would call their rules extremely strict compared to the law that protects somebody, because those platforms don't have to respect your rights, because they only have to concern with a rule set that they create on their platform.
Sorry, I tried applying Uni logic to that, and all I'm left with still is what the actual fuck.
Because they have the ultimate say on their own platform that they created. And if you want to use their platform, you must look at that rule set, understand it, if you're going to use those.
You mean those specific rules that you like to twist and tweak and turn to fit your narrative, Uni?
How do you say? Services, that's the best way to say it. So, you know, I don't have to fucking play games with you that I know are going to take months when you've already handed me a threat and a dox attempt, even though wrong, but still.
Just going to continue to highlight, once again, Uni's own statements. It's not a dox. It was an attempt at a dox, but incorrect.
Dox attempt that violates the platform. Now, here's the interesting thing about violating PayPal's terms of service.
Does it go against PayPal's terms of service? We don't know what the actual message said, so we don't know.
And by the way, JLR, I just read them, because when I filed the report, I had to read it. You know, you can't just skip all that shit. You know what the key is to protecting yourself? You don't skip it, you read it. But I already reported you. You'll probably find out about it in a few days. But
you said earlier he was watching, so obviously he's going to know now.
Here's the secret, buddy. When that report goes through, I can, in the morning, pull that report. And then I can go into my partnership at YouTube, and I can directly contact YouTube and give them the evidence of what you've done.
So let me get this straight. You're going to take the report from PayPal, because he did it on PayPal, and you're going to send it to YouTube and expect them to cancel him because of something he did on PayPal that has nothing to do with YouTube. And you're the one that posted your pay links in your comment section publicly for all to see and or use. Is that right?
And I will. Okay? Because you just threatened me on PayPal with $1. You couldn't even do $5. Like, most people will be like, I don't want to look like a cheap ass. My threats at least have to have $5 behind them.
That measly old dollar bill that he sent really chapped your ass. You didn't get 100, you didn't give 5, only $1. It's funny that you think you're worth more than that, though.
I'm not a stand-up guy. I just have used...
Thank you. Something else I can agree with you on and give you. I don't think you're a stand-up guy either. You have lied far too many times for me to think that at this point.
These platforms for well, I hope I'm a stand-up guy now, right? I've been an asshole. I've been cocky in the past.
No way. Say it isn't so.
I made lots of mistakes, but I think that the way it sits now, you know, I mind my business. I speak to the law. I speak to...
So now you claim that you speak to the law. Was it terms of service that trumps the law? I thought that's what you just said.
Respect to the people I talk about and myself, to my rights.
You definitely need a dictionary. You have no idea what the term respect means.
And I give my opinion. Yeah, I have a harsh opinion when it comes to people that target children that died. I got a harsh opinion. I think everybody does, except JLR and Betty. That's the weird thing there. I don't think they have one. I think that they don't care about the kids. Because why else? I mean, what did I do that was wrong in the video that I made against JLR? And what I mean is, if he had a problem with my content, he would say, I'm going to respond and I'm going to show that he's wrong about me and I'm going to correct him and own him.
It almost seems to me like Uni wanted this back and forth. You make a video, I make a video. And instead, JLR just took it a completely different way. Now, the whole term of owning someone, that is so cringe, Uni. Stop. We're not middle schoolers.
Well, he knows he can't do that. Everything I showed was factual. Perfectly delivered because I did it live. But if I would have edited that argument, it would have been cut down and perfectly delivered. I think you guys could see that if you watch my live stream. If I edited that live stream, I'd probably cut out about 2 hours from it, 2 hours and 15 minutes, where maybe I go back to the same thing, where I'm like reading the chat, you know, the things that don't matter. I could edit that argument down.
This is where I get lost because facts stand alone. You don't need an argument to present facts. You present them. They stand alone.
To about 45 minutes of just a perfect argument to show that he is dangerous, that he is a liar. He's not what he says he is. He's not a reporter, right? His reputation is not what he tries to pretend that it is.
He's definitely not the only one out here pretending to be something he's not.
Wish I was a little bit taller. Wish I was a baller.
Should he be banned? Should he not be banned? Those thoughts
What happened to snitches get stitches?
have to go through your mind when you're covering what he does. Now, when you see that he's doxed the people who stood up to him.
And this is exactly the point, Uni. You didn't need to lie on the situation.
I probably hurt the guy's feelings. I mean, shit, he can't even stand up for himself.
Well, I know somebody else that can't stand up for themselves, gets extremely defensive, disrespectful, you know, all of the things when anybody calls him out on something.
How am I going to expect him to actually not threaten me with a $1 PayPal donation? I mean, come on, dude. Uni, you're out of your mind here, right?
Was it a threat or a request for an interview, Uni?
All right, let me scroll the chat and then I'm going to get out of here. Because I didn't even plan to do this. I took my medicine. I have to lay down when I take my medicine or I get a little bit woozy. So I'm going to have to get out.
I mean, just go back to the opening clip of this if you want to know how woozy he gets. I mean, come on now. At least you got your nightly workout in because you wore a path in your floor, pacing back and forth, all that nervous energy.
Out of here. See, I learned that 2 years into my YouTube endeavors, which would have been around 2017. End of 2016, going into 2017, I learned that there are people out there.
Let me just say that, Uni, I could give two shits less if you've been on this platform for 20 years or 2 days. It doesn't matter. Nothing to me. You became nothing but another liar on YouTube with no one to blame but yourself.
Who, if you document, if you archive everything they do, they won't be able to hold an unfair power over you because they're gaslighting. And then Darvo.
I mean, in all reality, it couldn't be a Uni documentary unless he used the term Darvo at least once, correct?
The situation is the only thing they have. And there is one thing that completely destroys Darvo.
Oh, listen up. Uni's about to destroy the term Darvo. Is it going to be like an Uno reverse?
And it completely destroys gaslighting, and that is archiving the truth. Right?
Well, Uni, I guess that's what this is. Documenting and archiving the truth and facts of the bullshit you've spewed. I mean, you can continue to attempt to Darvo this situation, but it's not working out well for you.
Archiving the truth. The last thing JLR ever wanted was people to know that that's him. And now that he knows, he realizes he's in a bad situation because he knows.
Well, sadly, Uni, I don't think JLR is the one in the bad spot anymore. And you've got no one to blame for that besides you.
That it's my job to make a history of things that happen.
Oh, Lord, here it goes again with the job. It's his job. Uni, what's your qualifications for this job?
Now, they're trying to just give me too much work, y'all. I still have to do Molly's party. I'm working on that. And I'm going to have to decide on whether I finish it or whether I...
Another thing most of you guys don't notice, but every time I talk about doing something, Uni piggybacks off it almost immediately. And yes, maybe someday we will do our farewell to Molly.
...hand in it so that I can get some of this JLR stuff done. But you know what? I just want to make sure JLR knows.
And yes, I get it. A lot of people do the same thing. Uni's just very obvious.
I don't care how much you threaten me. I am not intimidated by bullies like you.
But where was the threat? Because you said it was an interview request.
You're an embarrassment. It's why you act like you do. You're a coward. You can't even look face to face the people that you lie on and defend yourself. You run off, piss your pants, do the stanky leg to try to get the pee off your socks, and then you try to dox them on your platform. You're nothing.
I know that you intended for that to sound intimidating or like you're unbothered, but it did quite the opposite, Uni. It showed exactly how bothered you are. Just a reminder in case you're popping in late, this was before the letter gate even started.
You are nothing. Who do you think you are? A world famous YouTuber? I don't even think that. I've been here longer than you. I've been doing this better than you for longer, and I don't even think that about my damn self. So who the hell are you to think you're anything? Wow. You want to talk about a delusion of grandeur? This is a delusion of universal.
Honestly, I think you were right about that, but I think you became the topic that you were discussing.
Grandeur. This is like fucking Big Bang level grandeur. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if anyone just came in, the JLR pulled a Molly voicemail on.
He's so caught up in his useless babble and trying to sound unbothered as fuck that he, once again, misrepresents the facts. It was Betty who left the voicemail, not Molly, and the situations aren't even comparable.
On me. You don't ignore these tragedy pimps. You commentate. You record it all. That's right. That's right. People are starting to figure out my content.
It took me a long time to realize exactly what you were about and how you move. But now that I see it, there's no going back.
They're starting to figure out that even a brief history of the worst things that they are doing will forever take the power away from them to gaslight, to lie, and to pretend that they didn't do those things. Because it's all they got. That's all they got. Did they really think that YouTube wouldn't eventually come and look into them if they kept doxing and doxing and doxing in the true crime community? Threatening people, doxing, getting more brazen, getting more brazen, getting more brazen. It's not a voicemail. What I mean is...
What he means is nobody gives a shit about Uni, so Uni is trying to take credibility off of the rest of us that have been doxed and shown everything that's happened to us out front publicly, or people have watched it happen on their own on other platforms when the rest of us were doxed. Uni wants that same credibility, that same status, so he is trying to compare his situation to that of others. It doesn't work, but that's what he's attempting to do.
Okay, he sent me a $1 PayPal, and in it, he tried to bring up a family member of mine. He tried to bring up an address, which is just, probably him doxing some other dude named Jason Smith or something.
Well, before the light bulb had just dulled, but now the light bulb has completely burnt out. This motherfucker just gave his full name while trying to claim that somebody else attempted to dox him.
And he tried to basically act like at the end he was asking for an interview. So he was implying, I know where you live, even though he doesn't. He was wrong. And he was implying that it was kind of a threat because, look, I know who your family member is. Haha.
And again, we don't know the verbiage that was actually used in the message on PayPal that was sent. So could it be threatening? Absolutely. We've just never seen it.
I'm going to get your family member. Now, he didn't say he was going to get him. He implied, So, he's doing what he does, right?
For somebody that knows what this man does, you walked right into it.
No, Jen, I've said it a million times. I never expect you guys to stay inside the stream if I'm addressing something that bothers you. That's why I try to skip really severe content. But today I couldn't, I just couldn't today. When I saw him, I've been warning JLR for a minute here.
This is that overinflated ego again. I've been warning JLR for a minute. Like if Uni says or does something that it's going to make a difference to JLR, or that Uni has some sort of authority on these platforms, I don't know. It's the ego thing for me.
I've already done a few streams where I talk about things he's done as kind of like a way to say, look, dude, go mind your business, do your content without doxing and harassing people, and nobody's going to bother you. You can make all the money you want. You can get away from your past. He's the one.
Wait, so does YouTube employ this man to go around and warn people and pass out passes for what they've done in the past and so on, and also make the decisions of what people are going to find problematic and not? I mean, Uni seems to know it all, be it all, have it all. So I don't know about y'all, but maybe we should ask permission from Unidox if we can even post our videos.
Who can't stop doxing. He's the one that can't stop digging and getting obsessed with anyone that hurts his ego. You hurt his ego.
I kind of think he's not the only one with the bruised ego.
He's going to dig on you, right? So he's told me, I'm calling his PO. Oh yeah, you don't fucking play that shit with me and then think I'm not going to. I'm fucking calling his PO.
I mean, tit for tat, you're threatening to go real life on him. He sent you a PayPal. I guess here we are.
I'm not playing this game with him. I don't have time for this. JLR, I thought you were media. I've never seen media act like this before, dude. Damn, dude, it's almost like you're not a reporter and you're not the media and everything I said about you is absolutely true. It's almost like you just confirmed everything that came out of my mouth, isn't it?
I mean, it's kind of similar to what I'm doing right now, using your own words against you to prove that you went from one lie to another lie to another lie to cover another lie.
Well, Southern Comfort, back when it first started, it was called QAnon on the boards. And what I did was actually, I had been doing series where, because it actually, one of the things that started was the Shia LaBeouf stuff. And if you've never heard that story, it is one of the best internet stories out there. I'm actually thinking about re-uploading my video.
I mean, in reality, how much can we really blame the dude? Because he claims he debunked QAnon when QAnon wasn't even a real thing to begin with. So there's that. I mean, it's not a shocker or shouldn't be a shocker to anybody that this dude's full of shit. You would kind of have to be to allege that you were the one that debunked the whole entire conspiracy theory behind QAnon. I mean, and no disrespect to those of you that followed the QAnon thing or Pizzagate, but facts are important, and the facts are you need to bust shit or debunk shit for that matter.
Video on it. But I would go to the boards and I would do like a little documentary style video showing.
Was it a Unidocs documentary though?
How things happened. And it's, you know, Shia was playing Capture the Flag with 4chan. It was one of the coolest things ever. Not for Shia, but story-wise. So when QAnon kind of popped off and started to do its thing, and when these other kinds of things happened.
When it started to do its thing, when the other things started to happen. This is the type of ways that they describe things in these conspiracy theorist realms, because there's nothing tangible for them to factually articulate. So they use a bunch of circle talk because it keeps the confusion going. And then if you're good at it, you can continue to circle, and the confusion causes so much chaos that people eventually start believing the bullshit that they're being fed. That's why Uni will never be able to make it in any type of debunking, fraud busting, any type of world of that nature, because people deal in straight facts that stand alone. And if you cannot articulate facts in the story appropriately, you'll never be able to survive. And obviously, Uni can't, because he is so used to inflating and fabricating for the purpose of spreading misinformation. That's the intent.
What we did is basically identify how it formed. You know, we put together the origin story of this group.
I mean, think about it. How hard would it be to make an origin story of something that doesn't even exist? It's like writing a fictional novel. Anybody with an imagination can do this type of circle talk, confusion talk. And unfortunately, Uni doesn't understand that it doesn't take a brain to be able to do that. It just takes manipulation tactics, really. And obviously, to some, Uni was a good storyteller. Unfortunately, not to all.
And it pissed them off very bad. So yeah, they came after us. They tried to dox us. They tried to...
And again, back and forth talk. He said that they did dox him. Now it's they tried. In my opinion, he does that because he doesn't want people to realize that the information that's out there already, most of it is factual on Uni. So by him saying they attempted to dox him makes people think, oh, maybe that's not factual information that they released on him. Again, not all of it is factual, but people have definitely been right time and time again over the years. Uni is not this pressed over nothing. And he also knows that JLR is savvy enough to be able to connect with those people who do have history with Uni and can gather that information easily.
You know, attack us. They sent me death threats constantly, you know. I really do think one of the people that messaged me on Discord is a bot, because they've sent me like 20,000 messages in 5 years.
For somebody that has had all of this stuff happen so often in the past, you sure needed your hand held throughout all of this situation. From the PayPal to the letter that's a cease and desist, but you still claim it's not a cease and desist. You needed backup to explain how you were trying to spin that you were doxxed by this PayPal. And then you've even taken it farther to say, no, it's the act of looking up the information that makes it a dox, or the fact that he shared the C&D with other people. Uni, come on, dude. None of that works. None of that works. You're just spinning.
Like, I'm not joking. I showed some people and they're like, what the fuck? But actually, I just uploaded a video. What happened was a couple research teams have went in and attempted to analyze the internet to prove what really happened with QAnon. And what they ended up doing was confirming that I was right the whole time.
I'm going to need a source for that information that proved that you were factual. I mean, something besides that one newspaper article that says nothing about you debunking QAnon. It just briefly mentions your name in one sentence. I'm going to need something other than that to show that you somehow were responsible for debunking QAnon, and that these research groups, who I'm assuming are, big groups, have credited you with being right the entire time.
And I did a very short video about that. It's on Rock-A-Lot. It's kind of an early Rock-A-Lot video, so it is an upload. It's not a live stream. Anyway, I don't want to bore you guys. Okay.
I mean, I've been bored for the last 62 minutes, considering after my intro, it's gone downhill from there.
Make sure you hit the like button for me, and let me just summarize things real quick.
Oh, yay. If you didn't get it the first 18 times that he explained in the last hour, you have another opportunity to be completely confused once again with his own statements. Lucky you. Yay.
JLR, you sent me a message. So what I did was report you to PayPal.
Let's do this uni style. Let's break this down into simple points. Allegedly, JLR sent Uni a PayPal for $1 that had a note attached to it. Specific contents of the note are unknown because they've never been shown.
For doxing, intimidating, harassing, and stalking using their platform. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to...
Point number 2, Uni allegedly claims that he reported the message and the PayPal donation to PayPal for doxing, harassment, yada, yada, yada. Now, again, he showed that he did that on Betty's, and he showed Betty's, but JLR's, we've never seen. No, you didn't miss anything. Uni already stated in this that they attempted to dox him, but the information was not correct. Therefore, it wasn't even threatening or intimidating, really. And it definitely wasn't a dox. It doesn't fit any characteristics of a dox because, first and foremost, it was never published publicly.
Continue the report, and I'm not going to stop until I make sure that they give me a response. They're going to tell me what they're going to do about this before I stop, just like I've done in the past.
The third point, which is very, very interesting to me. Uni admits that he's a tattletale bitch and that he does this quite often. But he also admits that he's going to hound PayPal until he gets a result that he is satisfied with. However, again, we don't even know the contents of this PayPal message. So could it be threatening? Absolutely. But I just can't take Uni's word on anything. So I'm going to kind of lean to the side of we just don't know what's in that PayPal message that started all of this. See, again, for those of you that are coming in at the end of this PayPal started right before Lettergate started. I wonder what started Lettergate.
Now, I'm also going to take your threats and send them over to the other platforms. I'm going to tag team YouTube again about what you're doing.
As we all know, JLR does horrible things to victims and their families, but what Uni is attempting to mix into this whole thing is a bunch of BS because we don't even know what was said in the PayPal to begin with, let alone it didn't happen on YouTube to Uni. It happened on PayPal. So he's just doing a whole lot of, I don't know. To me, it's peacocking. He's puffing his feathers, acting all tough, and he's got nothing in my opinion.
I'm going to make a packet on your recent doxings and what you've done, showing that it is a complete malicious pattern, that any person on the internet that talks about you will end up getting targeted, harassed, intimidated, and threatened.
For somebody that's claimed for the last hour and a half that they are so unbothered, you seem so bothered to me. You seem so bothered if you're going to make a packet about this man. I mean, and don't get me wrong, JLR is a terrible person in my opinion, but people have been covering him and calling out his bad behavior for years. It's already been done. news stations. You can actually find legit media sources that have covered his wrongdoings. You don't have to rely on liars like Uni.
Your friends have done this to me in the past. Wait, who was it? Was it Betty or Molly? Oh, it was Molly. G. Williker, Batman. And I sent in all the things Molly did to me, to YouTube, exactly how I'm going to do it to you. And
now, hear me out. I have seen Molly do horrible things. Y'all know what Molly has done to me. She did it publicly in front of everybody. Went at my husband, everything. So, not defending her. But I've also watched Molly pretty extensively. I cannot remember Molly doxing him, putting a bunch of stuff out there, attacking his family, all of that stuff, which he has been claiming as of recently. If somebody could point me in the direction of those videos, because I have the ones of her sitting at the table asking for help collecting the information when he had called her certain things, but I can't find any of them that he alludes to that happened. He says she deleted them really fast, but nobody has seen these threats and the harassment that she sent after Uni. I am genuinely curious and would love to have those videos if anybody has them. I've been asking about this for weeks because he's been claiming this for so long. I'm not saying she didn't do it because we know she has a history of doing it. I'm just asking, please point me in the direction of where this took place because I would like to see those. I never saw her go after him in that manner. I've seen her talk shit, belittle him, things of that nature, but never to the extremes that he claims happened.
the reason that I haven't sent much in on Betty is because Betty either is being very secretive about doxing me and coming after me and only saying a few things here and there.
Well, it could be like the other night when you claimed Betty was talking about you and she wasn't talking anything to do with you. She was talking about completely a different situation, but you tried to direct all of that towards yourself when it had nothing to do with you. But, I mean, you kind of have a historical pattern of trying to be the victim or the next victim in line.
Knowing, maybe having a feeling that it is a really bad idea to dox people who have contact and know how to message YouTube.
How about it doesn't matter if you have contact, if you know what you're doing, if you don't know what you're doing. It's a bad idea to dox anybody, period. But again, Uni, that's not what happened. According to even your statements in this very video, this kicked off everything that's happened over the last month. But you even claimed it wasn't doxing, it wasn't intimidating, it was a request for an interview. But doxing should be a no-go for anybody.
But what's funny is, you, on the other hand, don't have the restraint that Molly does. But I know one thing, JLR.
I'm not really sure what the new thing is with him sucking up to Molly or like saying Molly has restraint. The only sentence that I can think of that has Molly and restraint in the same sentence would be Molly needs to be in restraints because Molly has no restraint. I mean, come on, dude. I don't know what you're attempting here. If you're trying to get brownie points from her, not another lawsuit. I don't know what it is, but it's cringe as fuck.
You watched my video. What'd you think about it? What'd you think about it? Did you like it? Did you like that shit?
I mean, I think the lawsuit is your answer.
I'm telling you now, my family doesn't fuck around, buddy.
Pay close attention to the verbiage upcoming. Kind of interesting if you think about what he's recently said about his mother and the situation.
I know you might have found out some stuff about my family. Well, if you did, you would know that they don't fuck around. You know what I'm talking about. You've already...
The second-hand embarrassment I have for this dude.
Found out what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, high-level government. You know.
I mean, really, like if you thought that that was going to be intimidating or somehow JLR was going to hear you say that and think, oh my God, I probably shouldn't go any further. I think you got your answer because he had no problem naming you and other family members in a lawsuit. I mean, there's your answer. I'm sure that high-ranking government official is so proud that you debunked the conspiracy theory of QAnon, though. They probably go around bragging to all their colleagues that my quote-unquote, however your relationship is to the person, debunked QAnon. I mean, come on now, Uni. That didn't have the effect you wanted it to at all.
I don't know why you guys haven't put it together yet. Either way, I'm gonna dip out of here. Oh, I'm gonna stop him. I have to stop him. Because he has shown me now what Molly showed me You remember when Molly went to, I don't know if it was her main channel or if it was her backup channel because she deleted it so freaking fast. But what she did was get up there and scream and flip out and tell everybody to go after me and find everything out about Jason.
This is the video that I'm talking about that I would like to see. I have a lot of her stuff archived and nothing like that. If you guys do have it, will you shoot it over to me, please, and thank you.
Right? Find everything out you can about Jason and get him, right? I always give people a fucking warning. Yes, I always tell them, listen, I'll let you redeem yourself. I'll let you fucking stay on the platform. I won't fucking report you.
Oh, if you're lucky, he's going to let you stay on the platform.
Like, he deserves to be banned as of yesterday. I didn't report him. I tagged Team YouTube with his docs, but he has to expect that. But I didn't fucking get a hold of YouTube directly or anything on his ass. And I feel guilty about that. I was just talking to some people that I really respect about how I felt bad because maybe I should get a hold of YouTube sooner when I see somebody like Molly, Betty, and JLR, right? And, you know, of course, I was assured, no, because you're doing the right thing by making sure that they're doing this to people. I don't give a shit that he did this to me.
Have the times changed over the last month?
Care that if I just ignore it, he's not going to do any damage to me, just like Betty didn't, just like Molly didn't, just like none of the people before them did. What he's going to do, though, is end up like this man. If you anger him, he immediately tries to threaten your family members. He's proven this to me. He immediately does.
And again, we don't know what the message contained, so could it be threatening? Yes, again, don't know. But JLR is sly. He sent you a PayPal with a message letting you know that he knew your family members' names. Again, I'm not okay with it. It's intimidation, absolutely, but it's not doxing. And when you haven't shown the contents of this message either, it's open for interpretation. Common sense leads me to believe it's not quite what we think, because I wouldn't assume JLR would threaten somebody and then turn around and slap them with a lawsuit. I mean, maybe, but that kind of kicked off all of this stuff, that PayPal. So it's going to come into play in said lawsuit, I would think too. Wouldn't you guys? I hate even for a second thinking that JLR could be being factual on things. But when a liar lies on a liar, here we are, trying to figure out which one's the bigger liar.
Just right away, bam. And then the messed up thing is, if somebody asked him, he'd probably say, "No, I didn't. I was just asking him if he wanted to do an interview on my channel." And then if someone said to him, "Well, then why did you put like some addresses in there and shit and people's names in there and shit?" That has nothing to do with interviewing him. Has nothing to do with anything that was going on, right? It's completely
That's the intimidation part of this.
irrelevant. You put a bunch of irrelevant information into an interview request. See, they think we're stupid. They think we're stupid. No, they really do. They have something wrong with them that makes them think everybody else is stupid and they're the smartest people in the world.
Oh, Uni, the amount of embarrassment I have for you.
It's called narcissism. But they think that when they put that stuff in their shit, that we're just going to be like, "Oh, he doesn't mean anything by that." You know, I bet Betty really did want to talk to Nonsense and have a great, polite, awesome conversation and befriend her, huh? That's why she left the threatening voicemail.
Again, attempting to use my situation to give his situation credibility or compare the two, because what happened with me, I played it out front. So he is using my situation that I made public and trying to compare the two. However, he's not showing proof of any of these messages that supposedly were sent to him. See what he's doing there? He's banking off of credibility of others. Instead, he could have just simply shown the PayPal message, redacted the private information that he didn't want shown, and shown it. That's all he would have had to do.
I bet JLR really did just want to have a nice conversation with me and work things out. That's why he sent a threatening PayPal to me, right? But I bet you if he could have got my phone number and called, he probably would have, wouldn't he? That's true, Smokey, yeah. Cut, paste, rinse, wash, repeat. It's their motto, says Grace. Yes. I mean, Dan, how many people has he threatened and lied to involving threats and defamation? Or how many people has he went and tried to play this kind of doxing game with, is what I'm saying, in the last 3 days? 5? This man's prolific.
I'm going to need qualifiers for that, Uni. Are we talking actual victims of JLR, or are we talking self-inflicted victims of JLR, like you?
You know, he is a prolific terms of service violator. He can violate terms of service, go around stalking people. That's between him and his probation officer, right? Him stalking people on the internet should be between him and whoever the fuck is supposed to be watching his ass due to the things he's done in the past. That is factual. And so anyone that gets threatened from him needs to go directly to his PO and let them know. But when it comes
His actual victims, yes.
to him violating TOS over and over and over, guess what? I don't care. I do care, though, when he does it through doxing and threatening people. You know, like if he uploads content that violates TOS, it's on YouTube to fix that shit. But if his violations actually involve him stalking, defaming, threatening, digging on people's lives, like he is an adult male that for some reason has become extremely obsessed with another adult male because I talked about the things that he's publicly done in the last, while.
Now, mind you, this is hours after Uni received the first PayPal message from JLR. And he's got it in his head that JLR is that obsessed with him because he sent $1 on PayPal. Okay.
That's not normal.
What's not normal is to inflate and fabricate what is actually happening even a couple hours after it happened. And you've continued to fabricate and inflate and misinform for the last month over these situations. You did this to yourself, Uni, nobody else.
Well, I don't know if that's just what we're in. I mean, I tried to tell you guys I was going to document everything that these tragedy pimps do. That was my goal. I didn't come in here to save anyone from the tragedy pimps. I didn't come in here to get them banned. I didn't come in here to make sure that Team YouTube looks at them. Now, I ended up promising that I would have Team YouTube look at specific ones due to the fact that they're doxing. Non-stop. He has no defense. It's so hypocritical. Just think about it for a second. The man stood on a street last night. This is last night. I don't even know if it's been 24 hours yet. And he stood by a police officer, begging the officer to protect him, begging the people talking to him not to hurt him and everything, right? And used free speech as a way to continue doing what he was doing. But for some reason, he thinks that if someone speaks on him, like he's speaking on all these people, and he gets mad because these people come out of their home, walk up to him and say, dude, you're lying on me, you're defaming me, you're messing with us.
Uni's confusing himself with actual victims of JLR.
And we're dealing with someone who died right now that we knew. We're mourning. We got important things we're worrying about, or else we would pursue you. We would pursue suing you. We would pursue doing something. But we're dealing with the tragedy, right?
This is Uni's storytelling techniques.
And he's now he's going against the thing that he used as a defense last night to try to threaten YouTubers to talk about him. Because it doesn't matter that he came after me. It's just an example. One of you guys make a video on it. Well, didn't he go after Dietz? Didn't he go after Dietz? Because I almost forgot about that because we were really busy around that time. Someone in the chat tell me, didn't he go after Dietz on the streets?
That's what's so frustrating about this situation is because JLR has done very egregious things to many other YouTube creators that have called him out on his behavior, and also victims of these tragedies, actual victims of these tragedies. But Uni needed attention so bad, he just had to come in and, he was going to be, the worst victim of everything. Well, that didn't really pan out for you, did it, Uni?
Do I? Can't see that because it's not a removal. It's a deletion? I don't know. I can't really see anything here. He violated the privacy of a random citizen, the neighbor, with that public post. Very much, Amanda. Yes, very much. I completely agree. Yes, and he did go after Dietz on the streets because she did a video that was factual, fair. She didn't even do what I did. I made fun of him and posted.
Thank you for acknowledging the difference in the two types of videos. Dietz kept it factual and to a point. You went off the rails.
At him. Whenever I saw him doing something messed up to one of those innocent people, I would take a poke at him. I would make a comment that would exercise his hypocrisy. So he has gone after everyone, Grace. There is no doubt. Do you realize how fast? Like, he's supposed to be out doing real stuff. He doesn't. How in the world is he obsessively threatening people and defaming people and doxing people if he's out working? So what he's told us is, at first he says, I'm media. I'm a reporter. I want to be that. I don't care about my past. I want to do this. We said, but you're like doxing and threatening. He comes back, no, I'm not.
Uni, where did these conversations happen in your head? And who is we?
So we talk about him. He's not happy about it. So he starts prolifically doxing and threatening. He has told us, I can't remain on these platforms or other people are going to constantly be doxed and harassed. That's what he's told us. It's a message. He thought he was intimidating us with his message. He knows.
Well, now the message is intimidating. Pick a lane, Uni.
Nothing else, guys. He honestly he's an NPC. This man is programmed to think in one way. Basically, it's like this. If anyone says something that might affect my pocketbook, my ability to scam the people who I'm scamming and lying on and defaming and LARPing on, I'm going to threaten them in the same way every time.
Yikes, dude. Yikes. Because you have been spinning circles and throwing shit at anybody that calls you out on your bad behavior or your lies. You have just been coming out and aggressively lying about anybody and anything. No proof behind any of it. You're just throwing shit at the wall.
Well, exactly. It just shows how much of liars they are. Because if they're going to say they don't dox, they dox poorly is what they do. They poorly dox. You know? They're not even good at it. They're not even good at trolling. They're not even good at reporting. They're not good at doxing. They're not good at anything.
They might be bad at a lot of stuff, but one thing they are good at is getting you to puff your feathers, that's for sure.
They're not even good at cutting out people's faces and putting them on fucking infant dolls and going around and doing gross-ass things to the dolls. They're not even good at that.
I mean, I know that what JLR did was disgusting, but Uni bringing it up time and time again also is very cringe to me.
Hey, Kathy. They're so stupid, they can't believe you don't have any dirt in your history, and the dirt that you do have, you've already owned it, and so they keep trying to look for more dirt. There is none. I mean, shit, I've told you, my whole past was doxed by the Q guys. They had everything. It's all out there. All of my traffic tickets, all of my horrible driving.
Again, no one gives a shit about your record, but the fact that you change the story so often is why people realize that you're not being truthful.
Right. It's all out there. But, you know, it doesn't matter. Here's the deal. JLR feels owned by his past. It's why he's obsessed with everyone else's. He's hurt. He feels he can't get away from his past. And if that man would actually get therapy, actually repent on the things he's done in the past, try in his best possible ability to make up for what he did at Sandy Hook, it wouldn't follow him like this. It wouldn't haunt him like this. He's haunted by this. He proved it tonight.
It is my opinion that that is actually how Uni feels about himself. I feel like, this is my opinion again, but I feel like Uni has always fallen short or not lived up to the expectations that he thought he should have. So he overinflates and exaggerates all of this stuff, kind of like the knight in shining armor, that he's going to do something good, he's going to save something, because he's failed in so many other realms. And I feel like that haunts him, and his behavior is a direct reflection of that. Now, again, that is my opinion based on the behaviors that we've witnessed time and time again. But I think that was a very true moment of self-reflection of Uni's. And yes, there's a part of me that pities him, because I see an emotionally stunted grown man who mentally didn't mature past his teens. Again, opinion, but that's based on the behavior that we've watched, especially over the last month.
You know, you ever met, what's his name? See, I don't even remember the guy's name now. Chad Lilly, you ever met him? Poor guy. He is a real person.
For those of you that don't know where that name came out of, that is a man that was doxxed when they were looking for Uni. They thought that Chad and Uni were one and the same.
That's the shame in this. That's not, not, okay, shame's the bad word. The sad part of this, that's the sad part of this, that there are real people that are, I'm innocent, for God's sakes.
Innocent of what exactly? At this point in time, all that had been sent is a PayPal with a message. That's it. So I'm not sure what he's claiming innocence for over here, but
what did I do? Did I do anything wrong? No. Did I lie on him? No. I thought dude said that he's told people for fucking weeks. And now, let me see if I can turn on my little fuzzy things again. My little filtery thing.
And yes, there was a jump there. Uni had some sort of technical difficulties and supposedly was on his phone and then had to boot up his computer. But just pay attention to what he says, because he claims that he couldn't pull up all these things. It would take all this time to, boot up his computer. Hence the reason why he didn't show this PayPal stuff. But interestingly enough, he says that he has had his headset on. So you just sit there with your headset on while you have your moldable device going. I mean, there's a lot of excuses, but there's no excuse. He could have shown this PayPal receipt easily, in my opinion, but here nor there now.
Things here. Wow, I can't believe it, dude. Yep, I'm live. Oh, okay, nice. Hey, I'm dumb. Y'all, I'm a stupid dude. I didn't pay attention to my phone battery. Can we see your SpongeBob PJs? Not right now, Wicked. I'll wear them on screen soon. I will wear them on screen soon. Deets documentary, I shouted it out like 4 times in this stream alone. So let me find it. Actually, I will share it right now. And yes, it was great because it was done in such a concise,
Shout out to Deets on the Streets. She did a great job on her documentary of JLR. Go give it a view.
really good way. Right here. All right. I had to start up my PC because I wanted to try to end this stream. And I thought I'd have to log into my PC to end the stream because my phone battery died. But when I opened up the YouTube app, it let me reconnect. Let me create a post. So since JLR is threatening me...
Remember in the beginning, there were so many problems and how much time it would take for him to actually attempt to put his computer on? Yeah. Okay.
And my family now, it's a good time to share Deets' documentary. It goes over why he's such a dangerous person. My mobile live stream discusses how JLR threatened us and what I...
First question is, who is he threatening? You said he's threatening us. So who is us? Secondly, you notice how he doesn't claim that JLR doxed him? Because in this stream, he has said he wasn't doxed. It was an attempted dox. Just wait, though, because in part 2, you will see how quickly that narrative switched.
I think about it and what I'm doing about it. And just to make sure you guys know, let me take off my headset here. Just so you guys know, because I'm going to end this really quick, is what he wants, what JLR wants. Oh, I'm doing a documentary of my own on him. It will be nothing to replace or not or take the place of anyone else's.
The Unidocs documentary coming up. Dude, nobody is worried about your quote-unquote documentary taking the place of anybody else's factual work. There's no comparison. Nobody is stressed about that. Don't worry about that.
Hold on, let me type, I'm coming in right after I end this ending now. Be 1 sec. Okay. It'll just be my own take of what I think is the important timeline of what he's done. And I'm not going to focus on his frivolous cases and stuff. I think Deets did a freaking banger job doing that. And that's not all that Deets did, just so everybody knows. That is not all that, oh, definitely. Housekeeping.
Well, now you can document your own frivolous lawsuit with JLR. That perfect first-hand documentary experience. I mean, it could be just your autobiography. Hey, I'm all for that. Go for it, Uni. You've got your calling.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's not all. I mean, look, the Sandy Hook thing wasn't even the beginning with this guy. And that was when? Like, what year? That was 2013? Or... That was... 2012. I'm sorry, 2012. It was December of 2012, so there you go. That's why I probably thought it was 2013. But
when you need facts, Google is always there to help you out.
He's been doing this stuff since before then, and it's just, you know, his PO has told other callers that he isn't breaking the law. Oh, I'm going to give his PO his threats against us, and you know, show his PO what he is up to. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't know if God knows if they'll do anything. I mean, some POs are just lazy and don't want to do their job. Others are really good. It just depends. You got to roll the dice, I guess.
I mean, it would also kind of depend on if he was breaking the law or his probation if they decided to violate him. Those are kind of major factors in what the PO would and wouldn't do. I mean, I, for one, am glad that a PO isn't just violating somebody based off of a YouTuber who is known to lie, tattling on their client. Yes, their client is problematic, but I appreciate the fact that most POs need facts or these stuff called evidence before they would violate their client. I mean, and again, I don't like JLR, but I also don't like anybody being lied on or tried to be hemmed up with probation for shit that they didn't even do. Lying on people like this actually hurts the people that he does victimize time and time again.
You should make a doll with his face on it. That'd be funny. That would be funny. But see, that's what I mean. That's what he wants. He wants
nothing about those dolls or making a doll is funny.
Me to respond to him in a YouTube fashion. He wants a battle. He's not going to get a battle from me. I'm going to just do my content, and every dumb thing that he does like this, I'm going to just catalog and do what I got to do with it. God knows what'll happen, but I will make sure, though, like whether he thinks he's breaking the law or not, I'm going to tell you guys one thing. He hasn't been thinking about this properly like this. He really hasn't. If he has any real people around him that give him any advice that could tell him, like, this is what is going on, they would be telling him, you are breaking YouTube's terms of service.
Again, I'm not a rocket scientist over here or anything. And yes, JLR does breach terms of service. But in the situation with Uni, that was on PayPal. Nothing to do with YouTube or YouTube's terms of service. But are you admitting that you know what he did wasn't breaking the law, but you were hopeful that somehow you could jam him up with a terms of service violation for something that didn't even happen on YouTube with you? Your stuff happened on PayPal. And again, we're not talking about anybody but you, because the other situations have been totally different and not provoked like you did.
With the way that you're going after people and grabbing their private information and then sharing it like you are. Also, the people who he has filmed in those neighborhoods, they obviously didn't want to be on YouTube, and he was recording them. They may not know it, but they have a right to file with YouTube so that they aren't on his content. They have a right for that.
That would be as simple as filing a privacy complaint.
So all the people that JLR record, because that's his main way of doing things, they need to just get a hold of YouTube after he records them and file privacy strikes and demand to be taken out of that video. It is a big game for him, but it's also his money. Like, this dude, he doesn't feel lucky that he gained those subs. He does not feel lucky. He doesn't feel lucky that with his
This feels like jealous energy.
past, with the things he's done to families of these children, he doesn't think that he's lucky to have an audience that sends him tips and money. He's very lucky.
We all are with monetized channels. We all are lucky.
He's very lucky. Yeah, there's no morals in him. There's no humanity in the man. That was, you know, you saw him last night. These people are literally like, man, you're in our neighborhood, our property, we have rights here. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's the same kind of person that he goes places and then they end up changing laws. And it sucks because, you know, it really is bad when people do this kind of stuff. It really does end up.
Exactly why so many of us are frustrated with the fact that you inflate or fabricate information. You don't need to lie on these situations. Stick to the facts. That's it. But you have to be a one-upper, and you always have to take it to the next level. Well, this time it kind of came back to bite you in the ass.
Affecting everyone else's rights in a negative way. You know, like that military saying, one dude can screw it up for everybody.
Wait, that's a military saying?
You know, very true, R-Top. Okay, guys, I don't want to keep you any longer. I've already taken my nighttime medicine. I have to be laying down or I'm going to get sick and dizzy. So
I think the rest of us feel that way after listening to you babble for over an hour and a half. We all need to lay down too, because most of us are dizzy from being talked in circles.
I do need to go. I apologize. I had to run in here and try to turn on my studio because I wanted to make sure I could either reconnect or shut down the live stream. But thankfully, YouTube actually reprogrammed their mobile live app, and it's working really good. Like, I'm very impressed by it. Very true, Crispy. But that's the thing. I just want to make sure everybody knows. JLR, this doesn't apply to him because, of course, it's too late for him. He's too old. He's too far gone. He's too down the route. He's too down the spiral.
Wait a second here. JLR isn't that much older than you or I, Uni. And you think that he has no redeeming qualities possible? What's that saying about you? Considering we've all watched you lie time and time again. Is this just who you are and there's no hope for you anymore?
Right? But anyone who has any kind of bad record, they don't need to be ashamed if they've changed. But the only one way to change, and it's just the truth. I'm not preaching. I'm not, trying.
I don't think anyone's taking this as you preaching, considering you can't even be honest about your own past with yourself, let alone with anybody else.
I'm just trying to state what is the obvious truth. In order to change, you have to stop doing what you're doing because of a long realization. A deep thought process where you realize what you're doing is wrong and you stop doing that anymore. We all end up figuring that out at some point. And we end up failing and then having to do it again and failing and doing it again. Nobody's perfect.
So you mean to tell me that you're saying that you've had this all figured out, right? So you're proud of the person that you've became at this point in time? Is that it, Uni?
Though, for someone to be this haunted and childish, like him, it's a really good example of why we shouldn't allow ourselves to go down the spiral. And if we have family members that are going down the spiral, we should try to, inform them and let them know, like, yo, it's never too late.
I feel like this is definitely some moments of self-reflection for you.
It's never too late to change your life. Unless you go crazy due to what you're doing, it's never too late. You don't ever want to lose your mind going down the spiral, y'all, because you will JLR your ass into a hole. I got to go to bed. I'll see you tomorrow.
Things that don't age well, part 1672 with Unidocs. He said a whole lot there.
Please go to my Twitter account, and you're going to have to scroll down a little bit. I'm going to need everybody, after what JLR just did, we're going to have to make sure that we tag Team YouTube and get them more proof of.
But in true Uni fashion, don't forget to go report to Team YouTube an issue that happened on PayPal that I never even showed you what actually happened.
What he's been doing. Every time he threatens me, every time he threatens my family, every time he doxes somebody, we're going to tag Team YouTube until this is handled. See you soon.
Well, friends, that's the end of part 1 of the Unidocs, a series about the boy who cried docs. In part 2 of the series, you are going to see from his own mouth how what happened on PayPal that was an attempted dox in under 24 hours turned into a dox, and how that kicked off right before Lettergate. Here's a sneak peek at part 2 in the Unidocs series. Don't forget, in part 1, it wasn't a dox. It was just an attempted dox. This next clip took place less than 24 hours from the one we just watched.
Hi, what's up, bro? We are hot, rolling in hot from main channel, Unirock 2 on YouTube, where we just finished an emergency broadcast. Notice?
He even had to fire up his bigger channel for this.
And we're coming over here because we're going to go more in depth in the doxing of me and my family by JLR, Jonathan Lee Riches, the coward, and Bullhorn Betty the crybaby.
So we just watched the live stream where he talks about this PayPal that he had gotten, but in under 24 hours, the story has changed.
Oh my God, I didn't dox you. You're so dishonest. And it's so cringy. Navy, why do they overdose us on the cringe? We're supposed to only handle a little bit of this stuff, bro. Like,
well,
wow.
I don't know, man. It's
Thank
crazy
you.
because when Betty was talking about this prior to this event happening, she was talking about going after people and we're like, we'll go after you and your wife and kids and your grandparents. It was fucking random cringe. Like, who the fuck says I'm gonna go after your grandparents? And then
Wow.
it's just weird.
Maybe they think they were going after my wife, but I don't have a wife.
But in the previous stream, he said his ex-wife.
Oh, God, they're so bad at this. We're going to open this, though. This stream, we're going to open in a highly professional fashion. You see, Betty didn't know that I actually am a big YouTuber.
Yes, part 2 will definitely have all the ego you will be able to stomach.
I'm just kidding. I only had 40,000 subs back on my main channel when I quit posting there. But my channel, the entire concept of it was ruined by the early algorithm on YouTube. Now, if I wanted to go back to Unirock TV, I probably could. And the thing is, what people like Betty and JLR don't think about.
Of course, his channel was ruined by the algorithm. It would never be Uni's own behavior.
Is that I don't make decisions about how I'm going to do things on this channel based on what I want or something, right? Like, I'm looking at what will work from a content perspective. What are you going to be interested in? And at the same time, what fits what I want to do? So that's secondary. What I want to do is secondary because if I sit here with 2 viewers, I'm not going to have any, no one's going to watch. I mean, look, Betty wants viewers, JLR wants viewers. They're desperate for him. They will lie for them. They will ruin
Another things that didn't age well.
their name. They will embarrass themselves. They'll tell lies from one night to the next morning, like giant lies. They'll sit and say, remember the big
Well, in part 2, you'll see a prime example of Uni doing that very exact thing.
video that I kept playing because I was so shocked by Betty going, ruin their lives. What was the quote, Navy? She screamed out that cringy ass, make their lives hell.
Yes,
You know,
because they're
you
making
just
my
hear
life hell. Yep.
Make their lives hell. I can't do it. Make their lives hell. But anyway, she screamed this cringy thing out because she's so mad. Betty, I've been criticizing you. I have been joking with you. I have been calling out when you are being terrible to other people, which means you deserve way worse of a ribbing. You deserve way worse of commentary treatment, I don't know, than I'm giving you. I really, do you not see how, look at what JLR did that night. They defended his actions, yet at the same time, believe that somehow they're going to convince people they're the good guys. Now, then they get mad at me.
Stay tuned for part 2 in Unidocs, the boy who cried docs. Thank y'all for watching another one of my ridiculous pre-records. I don't call them documentaries. I'm just being facetious in all of this. Just so you know, I definitely am not a filmmaker or anything like that. If you could only see how many times I cussed at my phone over this whole thing, trying to get it to work. Anyways, I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps set the stage of what was going on and how 8 days after this, Lettergate popped off. But we will get there. This series might be long and a little painful on the ears, but I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful night.
They don't feel like working. Overthinking, I don't mean to let the pain and hurting. I was I'm on a mission, I'm paying dues, I'm in position, I'm staying up, it's getting late, you're doing good, I'm doing great, recognition, I'm on a mission, I'm paying dues, I'm in position, I'm staying up, it's getting late, you're doing good, I'm doing great, hours of practice, they don't feel like working, overthinking, I don't mean to let the pain and hurting. I was main stage with Tiny at a festival. Reality's a just less than 24 hours past and I'm back to working. The wage isn't minimum, but when you know your worth is more, you make your own curriculum. Study in the industry, I know you see me killing them. Nice, it felt so real, I had some moments I was living them. Celebrity, civilian, walk amongst the greats that you ignore. The ones relentlessly pursuing every key to every door. It's evergreen and evermore if you're content with living normally. I'm handing in my notice to the world on record formally. I know this life is right for me. I know the future's bright for me. I know my teachers lied to me. I do it for the ones that came before and nearly died for me. Recognition, I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues, I'm in position. I'm staying up, it's getting late. You're doing good, I'm doing great. Recognition, I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues, I'm in position. I'm staying up, it's getting late. You're doing good, I'm doing great. I had to let you go so I could grow and move. When time is of the essence, then it should improve. I had to leave to see what I could do alone. And when I get the money, then I'm coming home. I had to let you go so I could grow and move. When time is of the essence, then it should improve. I had to leave to see what I could do alone. And when I get the money, then I'm coming home. Recognition, I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues, I'm in position. I'm staying up, it's getting late. You're doing good, I'm doing great. Recognition,